My boss got me this straw cover, and it's probably one of my favorite things that I own right now. I can't even lie to you. Hi friends, my name is Rue and I am so super excited for this video today because it's so different from what we've been doing in the past. We're kind of taking a little bit of a break from talking about dance costumes, which we will get back to that. I love doing those videos too. But today I wanted to talk about the new Dance Mom series that came out a couple weeks ago, and actually I filmed this last week and then hated how it turned out. So we're trying again. We're trying a new approach. Okay, so here's my plan. We are going to go through episode by episode and talk about all of the dances because that is my favorite part about Dance Mom. I did want to start off by talking about how I feel about Dance Moms in general because I do have a lot of mixed feelings about it. I grew up on it as a dancer and I was really jealous of the girls because they got to dance every day and compete every weekend, and they had new costumes and new stories to tell and concepts to dance. And I just wanted that to be me so badly. But now that I'm older and a dance teacher, it kind of horrifies me the way that Abby Lee Miller talks to children. And I can't believe, like, not only do we condone that, but we paid for that. Dance Moms as a franchise is profiting off of childhood trauma and is really just capitalizing off of kids crying. And that just doesn't, The reason I decided to go ahead and give the new Dance Moms a shot was because in the trailer, Glow said something about she can make kids stars and she can do it without them resenting her in 10 years. And that really just stood out to me because it was kind of drawing attention to the fact that Abby was not always right. She made successful dancers, but at what cost? You know what I mean? Okay, so episode 1, we have 2 dances. We have the group dance Shattered, and then Mina got a solo called Swamp Witch. And actually, fun fact, there were a lot of solos and duets that just didn't make it on the show. I haven't watched those yet, but maybe we could do a separate video on those. I think that for an intro group dance, this was really good. I think it showcased the kids' abilities. I think it showcased what the studio is about in terms of the props and the costuming. I think it really just added the personality that we needed in a first episode. I actually thought the prop was really cool. I liked how they were kind of busting through the glass, and it was very musical. The costumes I wasn't super crazy for, but only because I'm concerned about those shiny pieces. Those have to be uncomfortable to dance in. That's worse than sequins. It just doesn't sound fun. Now the group dance ended up getting 7th place, which I think is a little dramatic. I feel like it did better than 7th, and that's definitely not the way you want to start a new TV show. But Swamp Witch, I loved Swamp Witch. I know that Glow and Mina's mom were kind of saying it was fine, she could do better, but I thought it was so good, especially for her age, especially for being on TV for the first time. And this little kid can turn. I was so obsessed with her turns in this dance. I thought her costume was cute. I thought the theme was fun. I thought the character was really good. I liked these dances. I thought it was a really good way to start off the season. In episode 2, we have a dance called Medium, and I have some mixed feelings about it. Okay, if I remember correctly, I want to say it was loosely based on the fact that Glow lost her son. I think that's true. Please don't quote me on that. I'll go back and check it. I don't know really how I feel about dance teachers using their trauma and kind of processing their emotions through dances with children. I think that dance is a beautiful way to dance through your feelings and figure things out and tell your story. But it just gives me a weird vibe when grown-ups put those stories onto little kids, especially these kids who didn't even know what a medium was. You know what I mean? I have to say though, this group dance was stunning, and the image of all of the candles on stage surrounding them, I just think it is so pretty. I think in the dance there was kind of a vague story that was Audrey was the mom and they were trying to contact her mom through a medium or something. I don't really think that story came through that well, but I do think it was a really pretty dance. It did end up placing 1st place, and I think that makes sense. It was gorgeous. The technique was beautiful. The choreography was good. I really liked it. So in episode 3, we have 2 dances. We have a group dance and a solo. The group dance is called Telephone, and it's this contemporary ballet piece. I was really excited to see them do ballet because that's something that didn't really happen a lot on the original Dance Moms. They were supposed to have point in this dance, which never happened on Dance Moms. I was so excited, but unfortunately Audrey got hurt and then didn't get to do her point part. Now, I have opinions about this whole injury thing that happened. I think that it's not fair for me to judge a situation based on how it was edited and put onto my TV screen. But she's also a kid. I also don't want to sit here and talk crap about a child, you know what I mean? Anyway, the dance without point was more contemporary to me. I don't think there was really a whole lot of ballet that happened. I liked the end part where they were like in a circle and they were like whispering in each other's ear around the circle. I thought that part was really cool, and that is the only thing that really like expressed the theme of the dance to me. Ashlyn also had a solo this episode called Oh Snap, and fun fact, this song was actually used in the original Dance Moms. I believe it was Cameron and Bryn did a jazz duet to it. This dance I thought was pretty fun. I love the Sabrina Carpenter theme, and I think they did a really good job with this costuming. They did like the little heart cutout, and that is like such an iconic Sabrina Carpenter look. I think they did really well with it. I think that Ashlyn did really, really well. I think she performed so well. I think she's so fun to watch. I just personally didn't really like the choreography all that much. The group dance got first place, which is okay. And then Ashlyn solo got second place, which I think is fair. Moving on to episode 4, we had a group dance and then 2 duets. The group dance was called High Voltage, and it was like a jazz number. They were wearing these neon costumes and they had black lights. I wonder if that's something you can actually do at dance competitions, or if that was like just kind of done for the cameras. But I do think that this dance is what Electricity from the original Dance Moms should have been. This was like rated G Electricity. I think I would have loved to perform this when I was little. Oh, I think I said that there were 2 duets, but they were actually trios. The first trio was Ashlyn, Smiley, and Lily, and it was called Bound Together. The whole concept was they had this like piece of fabric. I think she said it was nylon or something. And they were kind of like all stuck in the fabric together. And I thought it was a really cool idea. And I think the beginning choreography with that fabric was really fun. They put it down and then they didn't really reference it again. So it was like bound together, but only in like the first 30 seconds. The second trio was with Bellatrix, Layla, and Mina, and it was called Here Kitty Kitty, and it was inspired by Cats the musical. But I did think this dance was really fun. You could definitely tell it was like inspired by 80s music and 80s dances, and I think it was a really fun dance. I think they looked so cute. The group dance got third place, which makes sense. Bound Together got 4th place, and Here Kitty Kitty got 2nd. I liked Bound Together a little bit more, but I'm always drawn to contemporary dances more than I am to like jazz or musical theater. In episode 5, we have a group dance and then 3 solos. I love the episodes with lots of dances. The group dance was called Migrations, and it was supposed to be about birds migrating from one place to another. I remember thinking that the dance was pretty, but it really didn't give bird. Like, they keep putting stories or like themes to dances and then like don't actually do anything in the dance to tell that story. That's something that I really do like about the original Dance Moms, is when they had a story, you got the story. We as viewers kind of have a little bit of an advantage because we're watching Glow talk about it in rehearsal and explain it to the girls before it gets to the stage. But when you're a judge or you're in the audience at the competition, you don't really get that background information. So I think it's important to be able to tell the story on stage through dance. Like, that's kind of the whole point, you know? Audrey had a solo called Priscilla, and it was about Priscilla Presley. She came out in like this wedding dress and she had these balloons attached to her veil, and I do think that kind of served as a fun backdrop. I think that this dance was stunning. I think she really gave herself to the character and was just so passionate about what the story that she was telling. I really, really liked this solo. And then Gina comes in. Now, okay, Gina did a solo called Ave Maria. I really like dances with a story. I know we just spent so long talking about that. And I feel like the solos that we got from Gina in general did not really have a story. She is a gorgeous dancer. Beautiful lines, beautiful turns, beautiful technique. She is stunning to watch on stage. And I don't doubt that she's able to give an emotional performance. I just don't think she got that opportunity on the show. We also had a solo from Mina called Time to Grow Up, and I would be lying if I told you I didn't cry before she started the dance. Concept was that she was like giving up her teddy bear, and that just like broke my heart. Migrations got first in the junior group category. Priscilla got first in teen solos, and then Gina got first in junior solos. Mina got first in petite solos. On episode 6, we have a group dance and 2 solos. The group dance is called Sunshine and Rainbows. It was so cute watching them like hand out the pride flags to the girls on the bus. I loved the costumes. They were like these solid colored dresses, and then the straps on the back were rainbow. I thought they were so pretty. It kind of reminded me of Beautiful Day from the original Dance Moms, just in the fact that the vibes were very like happy and upbeat and colorful. Smiley got a solo called Baby Jessica, which first of all, I think is a weird theme to use for a children's solo. Like, that's a strange, I I think at the beginning she was like coming out of the well and she like did these like creepy hands and it was kind of getting scary. I feel like the story was supposed to be like more sad and it was kind of spooky off the bat. Justice for Smiley, because I feel like they talked so much about how she's not a technical dancer and she's not up to par with the other girls, but she had only been dancing at this point for 4 years and she is so good for her age and for her like experience level. Layla also got a solo in this episode. It was called Renaissance Nation and she was portraying Janet Jackson and then Beyonce. I honestly was not a huge fan of this dance. I just didn't really like the choreography. I feel like they could have done so much more with it. And I think the costume change was so clunky. And I know they talked about it and they made it seem like it was Layla's fault, but even when she was doing it in rehearsal, it didn't look like there was any like choreography to it. She literally just stood there and took the costume off. Yeah, I love the concept. I think it could have been really cool and I bet she would have killed it with some better choreography. The group dance got 2nd place, which first of all, I think we should stop acting like 2nd place is bad. Baby Jessica got 7th place and then Renaissance Nation got 9th place. Unfortunately, I kind of agree with those placements. I just don't think the choreography was strong enough to give them a chance to place higher. Moving on to episode 7, we have a group dance and 2 solos. The group dance, when they started playing the music, I was like, oh, because I don't like that music. I thought it was going to be such a boring dance. I had low hopes for this dance, but when it went on stage, I was a fan. I think this was a really fun dance. I liked how it came to life on stage. Bellatrix had a solo in this episode called The Huntress. I feel like it was just a little bit too old for her, both in costuming and in the choreography, I guess. I don't know. I think that this would have been a good, like, concept for a dance for her, but I think it just wasn't done well. Gina had a solo. They kind of did this like last minute. They just kind of decided that she was doing the solo, which I hate when they do that to kids. Cinema Paradiso. They made it seem like this dance was going to have a little bit more of a story and a little bit more of a character, but again, I didn't see it on the stage. Stunning dancer. Absolutely incredible. Gifted girl. I just didn't like it. I feel bad saying that. I hope these girls don't watch it and think I'm a horrible person. Like, you guys are so talented, okay? Episode 8, we have another group dance and 2 more solos. The group dance is called God Don't Give with Both Hands. You kind of have to do dances like these well. Like, there's a very specific way you have to do them in order for it to not come across as like disrespectful to a religion. It was themed after like gospel music, and I think that is like a fun theme to explore, but I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. Ashlyn had a solo called Glitz, and in the solo she was portraying John Benet Ramsey, which I think, again, weird theme to put on a child. They had a whole scene where they were like explaining to Ashlyn what the story of John Benet Ramsey is, and she looked horrified. I think this just as easily could have just been a dance about a pageant girl. Like, I don't think they needed to give her all of that like scary stuff with it, you know what I mean? I do, however, think the costuming was gorgeous, the makeup was amazing, the hair was fantastic. Like, she really got the look perfect. Twice in this episode, they had dancers go on stage in white socks and black jazz shoes. I hated it. It made me so mad for no reason. Mina has a solo called The Spy Who Loved Me, and it was kind of weird. Again, this dance felt just a little bit too old for her. Okay, all I wrote down about this dance was she killed it. I just didn't like it. That is kind of the running thought for a lot of this series. God Don't Give with Both Hands got 1st place, which I think is a little bold. Glitz got 4th place, and then The Spy Who Loves Me got 1st place. In episode 9, we actually had 2 group dances, which I thought was fun. We had Heartstopper, and then we had Explosions in the Sky. Now, Heartstopper, I think people are kind of going back and forth on whether it was like an age-appropriate dance to do. I feel like it was okay because, you know, it's like schoolgirls, they have crushes, it's cute, you know? The only reason people think that it's inappropriate for kids is because it features a gay couple. Don't think that kids knowing that gay people exist is damaging to them in any way, shape, or form. I think this dance had a lot of potential to be really good, but I do think the girls looked nervous. I do think I remember Glow saying that Ashlyn and Lily were like the main couple, and then everybody else was supposed to be bullying them, but that really didn't come through at all. They were all smiling and they were all like together for the whole dance, so there was no real like storytelling aspect at all. Oh my god, the other dance, Explosions in the Sky, I had like goosebumps the whole time. The concept was like kids in war, which is a really, really heavy topic to be putting these children into. And again, I think there are so many stories that deserve to have a platform like this to be told on. I just don't know how I feel about having little kids performing it, if that makes sense. But it was absolutely a beautiful dance. I really did like it a lot. Heartstopper got 3rd place and Explosions in the Sky got 2nd. I'm pretty sure I wrote somewhere in here that Explosions got robbed. In the last episode, episode 10, they go to nationals and we have a group dance and 2 solos. The group dance is really heavy, so trigger warning. This dance is called Body Bags and it's about dealing with addiction, which again is a little bit too heavy for these little ones to handle, I think. Really frustrated me because there was a scene of Glow yelling at Layla, I think, for saying that her like emotion didn't look genuine enough, but she's itty bitty. How is she supposed to relate to this like heavy story, this like crazy sad topic? I wouldn't have related to this at 9. I cried through a lot of this episode, I'll be honest. When they brought Ava in to like talk about her experience with her brother and like finding her brother, I just was like so heartbroken. When Ashlyn came on the stage at the competition and she was already crying, I'm about to cry again. Really heavy. This dance was really heavy and it really got to me. Why am I crying about it? Oh my god. Oh Jesus. It was a really powerful dance, okay? I clearly feel a lot of ways about it. Audrey had a solo in this episode called Seeing Red, and actually I was really excited because this was a song that I knew. They were talking about how she kind of needs to find levels to her dancing, and I definitely agree. I think the big parts didn't quite feel big enough. I feel like she doesn't dance with the music so much as she's dancing to the music. So she's not really growing as the music grows and gets really big. She's kind of just staying like this one level. I can't believe I'm a dance teacher and I don't know how to talk. This is crazy. Gina had a solo in this episode called Monster, and she had these like Edward Scissorhands kind of things. This is what I'm talking about. I really wanted to see her portraying a character instead of just doing like pretty dances to show off her technique. But I was so disappointed in this dance, and again, not because of Gina, but because the choreography was just bad. Like she did like this grabby hand thing like 3 or 4 different times. This wasn't it. I just know that she could do better. I want justice for Gina. Body Bags got 1st place, which as it absolutely should. Seeing Red got 3rd place, which I think is fair, and Monster got 5th place, which is honestly higher than I would have placed it. As you can see, I have a lot of feelings about these dances. Overall, I would say I really like the themes. I really like the idea of most of them. I think some of them were a little bit too heavy for the age of the kids, but the choreography just was never quite what I wanted it to be. Stories they're trying to tell are so like interesting and unique, and then they just like didn't do anything, you know what I mean? As for my feelings about the show as a whole, I honestly cannot say that I'm a fan. I think that there were way too many times where they were causing drama with the children. And the whole thing about Dance Moms is supposed to be the moms are fighting. That's the entertaining part. They're fighting and they're calling each other names. They start putting drama between Mina and Audrey, saying Audrey doesn't want to help her. She's such a brat. I just don't think it's right to put kids in a situation like that. I don't think it's fair to put them on TV in a position to be judged by so many people and make them on purpose look really bad. I don't want to judge these little ones for how they're reacting to such an immense amount of stress that I wouldn't have been able to handle when I was little. But like so many people talk about how much Ashlyn cried on this show, and instead of being like, oh, maybe this environment is toxic and not safe for her, they were like, she's such a crybaby. Emotional regulation is such a hard skill to learn, and it's like they all just expected her to stop crying overnight. Like she had a good day and they're like, okay, good, we're fine, she's cured. It really broke my heart for Gina when these kids were gathered around her just talking about how they didn't like her on the team and they didn't think she was that great, and like Audrey said something about you can't even do a back tuck. Like the way the girls were talking to and about each other was so heartbreaking, and that's like the biggest difference from old Dance Moms to new Dance Moms to me. The old Dance Moms girls, they were a team, they were a family, they liked to be around each other, they just wanted to dance. And this new Dance Moms, they're making these kids out to be just like terrible, awful, mean girls. Another big difference for me was that the moms on the old Dance Moms really seemed to care for the children, and not just their own but everybody's kids, and they just wanted all of them to dance and be happy and get the attention they wanted from Abby. But on New Dance Moms, it was really just so glaringly obvious that they just wanted fame. Like, they talked about it. Like, I don't remember what mom said it, but they were like, yeah, keep talking about me. We're just gonna get more famous. It's just so much less authentic to me when you're only really in it for the fame and you're not really in it to teach your kid all of the lessons that can be learned in dance. And I am so passionate about the life skills you get from a dance class, and it's so clear that they don't care about that. It was really disappointing, I think. Heartbreaking to have something you love so much. Like, I love dance, I live for dance, and I always have, and to see it kind of, I thought my roommate was home. I was really scared. To see it reduced down to such a source of hatred is really, really disappointing to me. It's really heartbreaking. Honestly, I think what I was wanting is like a dance competition documentary, and I don't know why I was wanting that because I knew it wasn't gonna be that. But I know this was a really, really chatty video, but I do hope you enjoyed it. Definitely let me know what you think about the new Dance Moms down below, and tell me what your favorite dance from the series was. I think honestly Body Bags was probably my favorite. It just was so emotional, and it just really touched my heart, okay? If you like talking about dance, I definitely recommend you subscribe. We have a lot of fun over here, and I have so many more videos planned for you. And I'll see you in the next one. I hope you have a really good day. Bye!